What up, squad? It's your boy Shinryu, and we are back after such a long time with another Street Fighter Duel video. The first time I recorded in a long time. I don't think I've actually had a month go by where I've actually not recorded at all. But I've also been obviously been reasons why this has been the case. But pretty much we're back here right now, and what better way than to actually go right ahead and deal with our boy in this guy, okay? No, not this guy right here. This guy here, okay? And we're not talking about Ivory right now, but we're about to go right ahead and just try and clear some space up real quick here. We're talking about his alternate skin one, as you can see above here. We're talking about Shadow Ryu, a new character that pretty much has been released. Obviously, he had been teased for over a week right now. I actually did not know the day it was teased. I did realize a few days afterwards, and that kind of brought my ginger back to playing the game again, because I actually haven't touched it in a while. It's not been a situation where I've just not been playing the game to record, but I've been playing behind the scenes. No, I actually have not even been playing behind the scenes, and it's pretty much very, very simple. Life has just been pretty much overwhelming for me of late. I try to pretty much try and do my dailies by the end of the day, and however, I get extremely tired and I don't do any dailies at all, and I just kind of like I'm not even touching for a bit. But I've been able to get a little bit of a grind here and there, and you can see right here too, we're still trying to pull that grind. We're just on day 3, guys, when it comes to pulling up these, chaotic starlight. So we're still some time behind, but we do have enough time in the event to actually pick it up. So I'm not worried there at all, because this chaotic starlight is going to be very, very important. Okay, we're going to do a lot of stuff real quick, but right now we're going to be focusing on our boy here in Shadow Ryu. And we're just going to go through his kit, see how what actually makes him tick. And if you guys can remember here, the last time we actually had Ryu come to shore, we're being tormented by the Bison of the first era, okay, which is regular OG Bison. And of course, Ryu came and became the Bison killer and created a mode where you could actually now to get rid of him. And then now we have a new type of Bison, an Overlord Bison, and we're hoping that we're finally going to have an Ryu that actually is going to be taking care of business too. Because honestly, apart from a few characters, like for example, this is one right now in JP, and who else I want to call that has been pretty much on par with Overlord Bison and co. Yeah, I think it's just been moving JP. No one has pretty much been on par with Overlord Bison and V Squared, to be honest. Leonardo holds his own, but Leonardo's not like a new character. Has been around for a bit, so we're talking about newer characters here. Their ones have been nice, but we pretty much need someone who actually can change the game, someone who's going to make the people really want to pull before maybe the next collab that comes out that can actually pretty much make us feel like we regret it. But you guys know me, I'm very picky when it comes to pulling, and so because of that, I do have more than enough right now. Well, I won't say more than enough, because you can never have enough, but I do have a decent amount of special summon tickets that I haven't put in a long time. And I've actually been extremely mean as well, not just with my special summon tickets, but also with the EX moves. I have stacked up so much EX move scrolls to actually try and pull. Where are the scrolls? You can see it. There it is. I don't think I've ever had this high amount of scrolls before. And we finally have an EX move that hopefully could be worth the evil reuse, because man, it's been really, really terrible. The original EX move that was for evil Ryu was extremely terrible. And actually, I haven't just not felt the need to really pull in the new ones as well. They may have been great, but honestly, the EX can be a game changer, but sometimes it cannot. And so we're going to confirm here first and just go right ahead and see what this EX move is about, because it can also give you a bit of what the character is about. Now, spoiler alert, I actually have tested the character in the trials, but just about it. I haven't really done a deep dive in the character yet. It looks pretty decent for now, but I have my reservations. I'm going to be talking about reservations soon afterwards. Okay, I've had a lot to say. Pretty much just get me back. Let's get to it. Okay, so first of all, we're going to look at the EX move here. Do I need to do a long hold? Okay, yeah, we do need to do a long hold. And pretty much it says what you're going to get is HP bonus, crit resist, pressure, damage bonus. That's all it's going to give you from the start. And of course, you get base start of HP, attack, and defense. All right, now it says, the EX move says, increase all friendly fighters' maximum HP by 10%. I believe that's going to be important to Ryu's kit, or Shadow Ryu's kit in this case. Then unleash 3 Masatsu Konhado. that explode upon hitting the target. I need to research that move because I'm not really familiar with that Conhado, term at all. Okay. And it said you unleash 3 Masasu Conhado that explode upon hitting the target. All right. Each dealing soul damage equals 6% of the highest maximum HP among deployed friendly fighters to enemies in a small area. And of course, reduces the skill's cooldown to 50 seconds. Okay, which is actually pretty cool. Meaning you're going to be able to do it again, because if you do it once and you do it early, right, then you have 50 seconds to do it again, which is earlier than you typically would, I think, because it says reduced by 50 seconds. So whatever is left should be obviously shorter than what it's going to be. Now, we're going to be trying to push this EX move for sure. Increase soul damage dealt by offering fighters by 10%. Prevent offering fighters HP from falling below 31% for 3 seconds, which is cool. So that actually is cool. It just actually makes it important. This is also like a, health saving in a way, sort of whatever. It's almost like, but it's a lot safer because you get 21% remaining rather than 1%, right? Or rather than 1, all right? Now you increase the maximum HP buff to 15%, increase damage by to 8% of max HP, reduce skills cooldown to 40 seconds. Now you're reducing to 40 seconds. It says reduce, okay, so to 50 seconds, not by 50 seconds. So 50 seconds to 40 seconds now. And then, of course, you go further, you increase all damage by 16%, and then increase maximum HP buff to 10%, damage to 10% of max HP, and then next 18 seconds, all friendly fighters attack deal additional soul damage equal to 3% of this fighter's max HP. Trigger intervals 5 seconds, reduce skill cooldown by 30 seconds. I love it already. It's not like pretty neat, EX moves. EX have not been crazy of late, of course, except the ones that kind of like sort of prevent you from dying. But yeah, this pretty much seems like a solid move, so we're gonna hit confirm, and we're gonna be doing a pool video for that as well in a separate video totally. But let's get back to our main event, the reason why we're actually here. The reason is to actually look at the character himself, what makes him tick, why I think he actually is worth it, why I have my reservations. Let's get to it, okay? So now, first of all, this is the OG Ryu. Good to see him again with that heart there that almost seems stumped out, looking all dapper and stuff. I still use him, but now I kind of use him to buff my fighters, right? As you guys know, in Fight Night, which is going to hold soon as well, okay? But we're about to go into the new one here. We're going to scroll down, and here he is, all right? So first thing we're going to look at is going to be the passive, okay? Born to Die. Upon entry battle, reduce this fighter's recovery rate by 80%, but increase their life steal rate by 30%, max HP by 15%, and attack by 30%. So steal rate by 30%, HP by 15%, attack by 30%. Reduce other fighters' recovery rate by 50%, and life rate by 15%. You're going to get for every 1 HP lost, 0.5 life steal rate gained, and of course upon everything battle, reduce all fighters damage reduction by 10%. So you want to pretty much start with him in the forefront, which kind of makes sense because you want to start his first move, okay? And of course, if you get 3 stars, you get to unlock this one. You guys know what it is. Now it's 1% HP, and you gain 0.5 damage bonus, okay? So I believe it's an addition to what you already have currently. So we're going to go on to the first one here, and as you guys can tell already, you guys pretty much have been excited about the character as well. You click on the rest, he is a trigger-based character. Now, I used to be a huge fan of trigger-based characters back in the day, but now I think my favorite has been like Oni, all right? And I also have a bit of reservation too, but I'm not sure yet because I haven't done any deep dive on the character. Like I said, I just kind of went through it. The trial is to blow past because the character is pretty decent. But if you guys remember, just keep this at the back of your mind, okay, in case there's something similar or not, all right? You can see here, Ivory is also pretty much a trigger-based character. OG trigger-based character, one of my favorites. However, he did have a different way that his trigger worked. The only trigger that would work along with a skill combo, in this case skill combo 3, would be the shuriken here, right? This one would not work. This one would not work along another skill. It just works after you have done your skill 3, and there is actually like a cooldown interval, because when you unleash this, this also reduces, the super combo meter of the opposition team, which kind of gives you the edge as well to keep on piling up your specials while they deplete theirs. Okay, now that's pretty much the advantage that this one pretty much does. But there is something that is really, really key about this Overlord here. It is ability to do the Raging Demon, okay, which is in this case, I believe it's Satsu. So let's go here. We should find it here. The Shun Goku Satsu. All right. Now the trigger for Shun Goku Satsu, if you guys can remember, is you do this move, take out the enemy, you're gonna get it done. You do this move as well, take out the enemy, you're gonna get it done. Not only that, if you get, I believe you get less than, is it 50%, or your health drops to a certain limit. If the opposing team attacks you with a skill 3 or thereabout, it's been a long time. Yeah, when an enemy uses combo 3, whenever he uses less than 60% HP, he would unleash that as well. Like, pretty much also you can trigger a stun, all right, with that stuff. So that was a special instance that you pretty much get with Overlord. I hope this one has something like that too. I haven't seen anything that kind of points that out. But if you guys remember, we went through the special right now. It kind of has a different thing about survivability. The more you try to get him, the stronger it becomes. That's supposed to be the concept of it, pretty much. So let's go into the first AoE move, Masatsu Konhado. All right, it says gather up power to increase these fighters' max HP by 10%. Then launch a powerful Hadouken that explodes upon hitting the target, dealing soul damage equal to 50% of attack, plus 20% of shadow reuse max HP to enemies in a small area, and inflict weaken. Okay, and of course, unleashing this skill, you gain 30% increase effect resist for 12 seconds. And you do 10% increase soul damage for 12 seconds. And friend fighters get half the buff. Now here's what I'm noticing here, okay? It says, gather up power to increase this fighter's max HP by 10%. So, I like to think you can stack this up. Otherwise, what I said, you can't stack it, right? Right? And I don't think there's a limit to the stack. I think the more you use them, the stronger it becomes. I'm actually eager to try him on like boss fight. That's where you pretty much can exploit him to the maximum, okay? Or in long, PvP fights, all right? Now, for this one here, it's a shuriken, heavy shuriken. I know it's a trigger skill, as you can see, all right? Only triggers with combo 1. Launch a heavy punch that deals soul damage equal to 230% of attack. Then a shuriken that deals soul damage equal to 50% of attack plus 5% of shadow use max HP and inflict 1 weaken. Alright. Also increase fighters max HP by 2%. Increase also damage received by the target by 10% for 10 seconds. Increase shuriken's primary damage to 206% of attack. Shuriken also reduces target's defense by 10% for 10 seconds. While unleashing the skill, ignore all enemy shields and damage immunity effects. Alright, so damage immunity effects, what does that mean? I think it's just pretty much, you can't die. That's what it pretty much is. But I don't know if this one would affect, kind of go below 1, right? Alright, it's just going to go past, it's going to go beyond the damage immunity stuff, right? So that's cool. But you guys know how that effect works. And now we'll go to the main Spiral Shuriken. This one is really crazy, okay? So trigger skill as well, you can see, works with combo 3. Right now, strike the target with a heavy hit. Deal soul damage equal to 220% of attack, inflicting stun for 2 seconds. Nice. Then launch a spinning kick that hits 4 times, then the soul damage equal to 80% of attack per hit. Finally, unleash a shuriken that deals soul damage equal to 250% of attack, plus 5% of shadow reuse max HP, and inflict 1 weaken. Okay. Also increases fighters max HP by 2%, same as the other moves. Increases shuriken's extra damage to 10% of shadow reuse max HP. Increases shuriken's primary damage to 250% of attack, just like the first one. The shuriken also reduces target defense by 10 seconds. Unleashing the skill also ignores all damage immunity effects. Okay. Alright, we're going to see what this damage immunity effect pretty much means, because it can mean a lot of things. It can mean, even though you cannot go below 1, it's no longer a thing anymore. And maybe that's what's going to make him the Overlord Bison Killer. If it's just pretty much the, regular damage immunity stuff, which is what I think it is, then it makes him great, but doesn't make him perfect. Alright, so now let's get to the other spot right now. We're going to do Fighting Spirit real quick here. Alright, we're getting deep into the game. Bloodstained Biden's exclusive shadow review. Okay, here we go. You get a HP bonus of 19%, attack bonus 37%. That is a huge attack bonus, so you know it's pretty much attack based. Pressure 10%, effectiveness 20%. Skill destruction stance. Okay, except for this fighter, when any fighter's HP falls below 30% for the first time, their passive skill is disabled for 8 seconds. Wow, passive skills are huge, guys. This is pretty much a game changer. 8 seconds. That's what a lot of people use Zangief for when I used to go in PvP battles, which gives them some sort of advantage. Imagine having this for 8 seconds. But let's see how it goes, okay? Now, when you're in the assist, what do you get? The assist fighter's HP falls below 80% for the first time. Prevent a HP fall below 80% for 1 second. During which the damage reduction and damage bonus are each increased by 10%. When is the third fighter's HP fall by 40% for the first time, prevent a HP from falling below 40% for 4 seconds. During which blah 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 blah. Honestly, this looks like the maddest assists in a while. However, do you want to waste on an assist? That's what we don't know yet. That's what I'm not sure of. Okay, now going at plus 10 when you do have the fighting spirit going, which is going to be easy. Plus 30 is going to be a tough one. And funny enough, I actually exhausted a lot of my plus 30 on random characters because I just don't have anyone to invest in. So now there's a bit of a minor regret, but let's get through it. Okay. Except for this fighter, when any fighter's HP falls below 30% for the first time, their passive skill is disabled for 12 seconds. Wow. All right. And when they say any fighter's HP, are they talking about including your fighter too? Now that is pretty tough. I'm not really sure yet. Now for 12 seconds after entering battle, redirect 50% of damage received by other friendly fighters to this fighter. Alright. Increase this fighter's damage reduction by 10% for 12 seconds after entering battle. Redirect 80% of damage received by other friendly fighters to this fighter. Is he supposed to be a low-key good tank? No, this is things we pretty much have to figure out. Alright, now it says pressure the opponent to darkness and unshakable will. Yeah, or just random quotes. Okay, so the final piece of the puzzle. Let's get so power. Just pretty much rush through real quick here. You're gonna get, crit rate is what's gonna go higher. Crit rate, that's pretty much it. Crit rate plus 1%. Okay, and all this part here is just pretty much triple X move, the 3-star, from the EX move that you're gonna get. So we already went through those. You already know what to expect. PvP, usual stuff, so keep going. Okay, now this is what matters right now, the garage. You guys already know how we work with the garage. Stack up this garage whenever a major fighter like this comes around, stick it in there. All right, so this looks like he's doing his nice major kick right there. When this fighter's HP falls below 80% for the first time, prevent their HP from falling below 80% for 1 second, during which their damage reduction and damage bonus each increase by 10%. When this fighter's HP falls below 60% for the first time, prevent their HP from falling below 60% for 2 seconds, during which their damage reduction and damage bonus each increase by 10%. So now you're already on 20% increase in damage, right? When this fighter's HP falls below 40% for the first time, prevent his HP from falling below 40% for 4 seconds, during the damage reduction and damage bonus are each increased by 10%. And when this fighter's HP falls below 20%, you get another one again, another damage bonus of 10% increase. That is like 40% increased damage, man, just by putting him to 20% health. And remember, he's going to have health skill, so you can actually replenish him back with that. So that actually looks like a pretty crazy passive to not ignore. Okay, now pretty much gone through the kit, and it sounds like someone who's pretty much interesting. We're going to do a quick mini dive real quick here, and like I mentioned before, I already did a trial, so we don't have to worry about that. It's pretty easy to go past. You can't come out any team, doesn't matter. The guy's really good. And usually, what we typically do when it comes to looking at this here, we look at the character you're going to face. We got E100 here, who pretty much does a lot of damage reduction to you. We got, our healer with some Elena right there. We got one of these, I call her Reggie right now, Trini Kami, not a major, but she's good. We got, now I'm curious about this. This is the one that's gonna be. This was one that I'm actually very curious about. We have Witch Jury here, and why am I curious about Witch Jury? Witchery is somebody where if you actually go against her, I can't look at her move right now, but let's go over to our witchery that we do have here. Let's go right here real quick here in the gallery. I believe she has a passive where, there we go. But taking fatal damage for the first time, transform into a bat and cling to the wall to recover 10% of max HP every second for 5 seconds. Now, if this passive is shut down and you give her those hits, that puts her in trouble, ready for death at the very beginning. And that brings me on to Overlord Bison, okay? And even regular Bison too. But regular Bison, he's got moves that can go past damage immunity, so we're not worried about regular Bison. With OG Bison, what keeps him alive is his passive. Now imagine if that stuff has been triggered. Yeah, he can get rid of him too, so that actually makes it quite amazing there. That makes him pretty good. But now let's get into pretty much the actual, no, let's not go here. We're trying to go over to, yeah, there we go. Let's go to the trial here. And as you can see here, they've given us on to test that theory of the passive. We've also got Christmas Rufus, and then we've got his descent character, and then we've got, this version of, I don't know why I always forget this version of, why does it always just get on my head sometimes? Maybe we need to go and face her first. What is this version of? Is it Agent Viper? No, I don't think it's Agent Viper. Agent Viper is the one that actually wears the blue, right? Either ways, that's what we have right there. But we're going to be picking weak characters to show you how great character is. The first thing I actually usually do, you guys know, is I want to know how this skill 1 is. Now, this is the first resolution I have. We're pretty much in an era right now where you do your first skill and it has major damage, okay? All right, now we're going to go to a few contenders first before we focus back on Shadow Ryu. Bear with me there. I know the time is already going up. All right, and if you're enjoying this video already, you've gotten to this point right here, don't forget to smash a like, guys. It really helps, and it's gonna pretty much, give me that encouragement that I need as well. Of course, you gotta like it first, so no pressure, but yeah, just keep doing your thing. All right, now let's get back to what I was talking about here real quick here, okay? I want to go to those fighters that I feel like they are the real G's, okay? Now, we're going to go across the first line over here, and I'm going to go right ahead and call on Leo as the first person that I would say might be one of those true G characters real quick here. Going to the trial real quick. Bear with me, like I said, we're just trying to have a look at something real quick. We got Vega for starters. His side of move, great. All right, who are the other characters here? We got this camera here. We got her there. We got her there, and we got her there. So let's just go right ahead and just pull someone. Let's go against her. All right, just go against her. I probably have just faced the nearest person, but I want to show something real quick here. We're going with Leo. Hopefully, he can get his speed. Now, here's the thing right now. Not enough speed for starters. For Leo, I think Shadow Ryu has a lot of speed because you tend to get a chance to unleash your combo. So we're going to get some support, okay? We're going to look for someone who's pretty fast as well. Let's go with regular Yang, all right? So let's go right there. Okay, we should get some speed. Did I pick someone Yang? Did I pick? Yeah, this is regular Yang. Okay, we're good. Okay, but Yang probably going to get the damage I'm talking about here. Okay, now we got a chance. Now look at this. This is damage is doing here right now. Decent damage here, but that used to be what we consider mad damage at the beginning, right? Now, let's go right ahead. We're going to quit this real quick. We don't want to waste too much time, okay? You got rid of him. I just want to show you this. Something I'm trying to show you guys real quick here, okay? There is levels to this stuff, okay? Now, this is our first major damage guy, okay? I'm going to go to the buy real quick, go to the trial. We look at the enemy calibers. This is regular character here. We got Vegas and, Inferno. We got more Vegas. Got more Reggies. And I'm going to go for Her. All right, let's just go to this character here and face them. Like I said, I'm just trying to show you guys something real quick here. I don't think we need all the other people. I think he should be strong enough. He might not be, but we'll try it out. So let's see. We should have been looking for people who are actually slow, okay? But it's fine. Let's see if he survives. Come on, survive, survive. I don't think he can survive this. Okay, we got to do the move. Look at that damage there. Look at that. 2 people down to half their health, okay? All right, so now we're going to go right back, and then we're going to go to the major. You know what? The second to the last major person to be worried about, okay? And that is V squared, all right? We're going based on rankings here. I think V squared does a little bit more damage than, JP. Now we can see over here, we're all Inferno, Master, all that, and then we got, Legendary, we got this too, and we got just like what we have with regular Ryu, okay? Now we're going to look for someone that's not really fast. Okay, let's go against her. We're going to go against her, and we're going to and we got V squared here already. He's pretty fast, but he's also not tanky. So let's see if we can actually get, okay, looks like we're going to get special for that. And we do this. Look at that. We got more than half on one. We got half on the other. We got a little bit close to half on the third one. So we're getting there, right? Now we're going to go over to the main event when it comes to the badasses, all right? Yeah, it's very important we actually go through that. And as this guy right here, okay? Now you're wondering, what? Does this move actually do crazy stuffs? Look at that. Oh, God, Ryu. Oh, look at that. Come on, look at the caliber. Oh, my word. Why'd that go so forward? Take it easy, man. Look at the caliber of opponent that actually is being lined up for Overlord Bison there. Look at the caliber. But we're gonna go for one of the ones that's not really fast here. Let's try Rose. Rose is fine. And we're gonna try and fight with him first of all. But look at this first of all. One. Boom. Look at that health that's already been taken out. And he still has a chance to use his own, although he might not survive. So we need somebody else we just want to just see what damage he does initially from scratch, okay? Let's get some fast folks here too, so we can actually get to unleash as quickly as possible. You can see, boom, look at that. Half, a little bit over half, and now can now do his own again. Look at that. He already took someone out. So with his first attack move there, it's gonna run out. That is a total different level right there. We're going to leave that. We're going to get back to the main event character that we're dealing with here today. We're going to go back to, Shadow Ryu here, okay? Now we're just going to go and look for somebody who's not going to attack us from the start. Once again, judging by this is someone I'm actually interested in for 2 reasons. And we're going to wrap up the video with you guys to Shadow Ryu, okay? So first of all, let's go right ahead and go without any support, okay? I believe it's fast. We forgot to check his speed. We're going to check his speed shortly. Let's see if he can survive. Come on, come on. Okay, so here's his resistance in the first attempt. I want him to trigger his... Okay, we're at 20% right now. Now let's try this. Oh, look at that. Both health, because we already accumulated that. Look at that. Took 2 folks out. Guess what? We already took out Witch Jiro without seeing her looking like a bat. That is how badass he is. Okay, this is just pretty much the perfect exhibition I was trying to show off. I was hoping that we'll get this sort of like, chances. Boom. And of course, you got that health still. And this is him dealing with everybody just by himself. Okay, now don't get me wrong, you're not going to get a chance to do it with almost every kind of opponent, but imagine having him in your squad, and this is what he gives you guys. So final wrap about the character. All right, one thing that is very, very important when it comes to dealing with folks is disabling passives, and those who've been using Zangief's OG Zangief for the longest time know what I'm talking about. It is extremely key when you can disable someone's tactics. Secondly, what makes him pretty much absolutely beast. This character here has 3 instances to survive, and he has to go through that. This is like a Sagat thing Now, speaking of Sagat, I want to go try and check something out real quick here, okay? Unfortunately, Sagat's not against not one of the characters that you're going to face, so maybe he pretty much doesn't fall victim to this rule, okay? Because the key thing that whenever you see all these characters I put out there, there's one key thing that I try to exhibit, and that is for you to understand that without that passive, most characters are weak. I don't think they put Overlord Bison there on purpose because they don't want him to look like he's sort of like deteriorated. But he hasn't. Now, don't get it wrong, he's still a beast, he's still badass. But this guy could be a game changer. Now, I want to go right here and let's get to Sagat real quick here so we can actually do like a final round up here. I want to see what makes him actually tick with regards to survivability. Looking at his passive here, it says enter Imperator status when HP falls below 75%, 75% for the first time, does not stack. Guess what? This is a passive, meaning he's going to ignore this stuff too. But here's the thing here, when it comes to mano a mano, Ivory versus Ivory, Shadowy versus Shadowy here. This stuff here is also a passive, okay? Recovery rate, steal rate, all that kind of stuff. However, the fact that he's surviving here is not a passive. I believe it is. Oh yeah, it's a passive. This counts as passive, right? If this counts as passive, then yes, it is a passive too. Or the 50, 80%, 60%. You know what? This is crazy, guys. It's gonna be chaos having Ivory on both sides, Shadowy on both sides. But guess what, guys? We're gonna be pulling for the character next. You know what? We're gonna pull for the character tomorrow, okay? You know what? We're gonna pull for the character next. What we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna go right ahead. I'm gonna attempt the very first battle loss here. And actually, I'm in the Hatter trial. I'm gonna attempt the very first one so we can get our very first copy of Shadow Ryu, and then we're gonna go ham. All right. Otherwise, guys, what we're gonna do next is just say, you know, it's been great to be back. You know, it's been a long time. I hope this is pretty much the beginning of a long continuation after so long. Otherwise, guys, it's been your boy Shin Ryu. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.